Okay, guys, so this is just a review of last lesson. I'm just going to go over it really quickly. Maybe it'll be really quickly. I need two numbers that multiply to be 15 and add to be -8. Well, that should be -5 and -3. So x minus 5 times x minus 3. And in the second problem, I need to factor 3 out first. So I get 3 times x squared minus 3x minus 40. And then I need two numbers that multiply to be -40 and add to be -3. And I'm pretty sure that's -8 and 5. So I get 3 times x minus 8 times x plus 5. And then for the third one, I'm going to do my little box method. And I have 9x squared and 2. And then I need two numbers that still add up to be that middle number, which is 9. So it still needs to be add to be that number. And it needs to multiply to be 9 times 2, or 18. 6 and 3. So this would be 6x and 3x. And I factor my columns and factor my rows, and I get my answer. So this would be 3x and 2 and 3x and 1. So this should factor to 3x plus 1 times 3x plus 2. I'm going to do the same thing for number 4. I've got 6x squared in this one and 28y squared here. I still need two numbers that add to be that whatever this middle number is, -29. That part doesn't change. But what changes, it needs to multiply to be 6 times 28, which is 168. And all I did is I took my calculator and I started dividing. I started dividing to see which numbers would multiply to be 168 and add to be -29. And what I found was -21. Oh, -21 and -8. Oh, -21 and -8xy. So I put them in my box and then I factor. Doesn't matter if I do rows or columns first. So I've got, let's see, this would be 2x. And this would be -7y. And this one should be 3x and -4y. So it should factor to be 3x minus 4y times 2x minus 7y. Okay? That's all. Good job. Okay, so today we're moving on to just special ones, difference of squares and a perfect square trinomial. I just still factor them the same way. I don't change it. I don't use any special rules or anything. I just factor it the way we've been factoring this last time. And I think it just kind of makes it easier just to remember one, maybe two ways with the box method. That's the second way to do these. And that way I don't have to memorize, okay, what's the pattern? Now which one is the rule? I just have one way to do it. So what I need is I need two numbers that multiply to be 1 and add to be -2. Well, there's only two numbers that multiply to be 1, which would be 1 and 1. And if it has to be add to be -2, they'd both be negative. So this would be x minus 1 times x minus 1. And I can write it that way, or I could write it as x minus 1 squared. Since they're both the same, it doesn't matter. Both answers are correct. However way you prefer to write it, doesn't matter to me. Okay? Is there any questions so far? Are we doing okay? Awesome. Okay. So moving on to number 2, still doing the same thing. So I need two numbers that multiply to be 25 and add to be negative 10, well, that should be negative 5 and negative 5. So this should be x minus 5 times x minus 5, or x minus 5 squared. So, so again, just right, I need two numbers that multiply to be 16 and add to be 8. 4 times 4. So I can write that as either x plus 4 times x plus 4 or x plus 4 squared. I don't care. Delta Math might care on the assignment, so you might want to be careful and check and see how they want their answers put in, but I don't care. So 225 and adds to be negative 30. I think that's going to be negative 15 and negative 15. So x minus 15 times x minus 15, or x minus 15 squared. Okay. Nice job, you guys. Good. So let's go to the next page. We're still factoring. A perfect square trinomial. So we're going to factor this. Just like how we've been doing. So I'm going to make a box. I'm going to do this over here. And I might have made it bigger, but eh. So I've got 25x squared and 64. And I need two numbers that add to be negative 80 and multiply to be, get out my calculator, 64 times 25, 1,600. 1,600. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be negative 40 and negative 40. Yeah, so that's negative 40x and negative 40x. And then I factor. So this should be 5x minus 8 and 5x minus 8. So my answer should be 5x minus 8 squared. Okay? Money's here. We're going to do the same thing to the next problem. I've got, let's see, 49x squared and 36y squared. So I need two numbers that add up to be negative 84 and multiply to be 49 times 36. Whew. 1764. So, let's see. Yes. Pretty sure it's going to be negative 42 and negative 42. And you guys, I'm not, let me see. I'm not coming up with these numbers like super fast because I know them on top of my head. I've just recognized the pattern that these two numbers and all of the ones that we've been doing are the same. So I figured that they had to be the same number. So that means just 84 divided by 2. So that's how I came up with it so fast. I just want to say that part really fast. So negative 42 xy. So what goes into 49 and 42? 7x. And 42 and 36 should be 6y. And I'm pretty sure that's a minus 6y. So 7x minus 6y. So I've got 7x minus 6y squared. Okay, so you guys go ahead and, of course, I forgot to record that. That's beautiful. Nice Tony, nice Yone, nice Leslie, nice Lucia, nice Jalen. Good job, you guys. And then the last one, try and make a little bigger square because there's bigger numbers here. I've got 81x squared, 100y squared, and I need two numbers that add to be 180 and multiply to be 8100. Whew, so that should be 90 and 90. So 90xy, 90xy, and if I factor that, I should get 9x and 10y and 10y. So it should be 9x plus 10y squared. Okay? Nice job, you guys. All right. Whew. So now we're changing the look of our problem. It looks a tad bit differently. There's no middle term on this one. So in order so I can factor it, there's no term with x. I'm gonna write it with a term of x, as x term in there. Whew. So I'm gonna just rewrite this equation as x squared plus 0x minus 16, which is the same thing. It just 0x is 0 times x, which is 0. So that could be written as x squared minus 16. I just wanted to have that middle term in there. So when I make my graphic organizer and I say I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 16 and add to be 0, remember the add part is always my middle term, so I need to have my middle term there. And if there isn't one, I need to make one, and I can make one by doing 0x. So just as a reminder, the graphic organizer needs to add to be b and multiply to be a times c. So I need to have that b term. I have to have all three terms in order to do my graphic organizer. So I just rewrite the equation. So it has my third term in there. It just happens to be 0. So two numbers that multiply to be negative 16 and add to be 0. Well, that I think is 4 and negative 4. So this would factor to x plus 4 and x minus 4. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the next problem. This would be x squared plus 0x plus 25. So I'd need two numbers that multiply to be 25 and add to be 0. Can someone tell me what those numbers are? Two numbers that multiply to be 25 and add to be 0.
Are there any answers like that because it's a positive 25?
Awesome. That is exactly correct. There are none because in order to multiply to be 25, I either have to be positive 5 and positive 5, which don't add to be 0, or negative 5 and negative 5, which also do not add to be 0. So this answer is really called just not factorable. Factorable. Boy, my writing is really bad. Okay, so it's just not factorable because of this. Like Sione said, it's because it's a plus 25. If it's x squared plus 25, it's just not factorable. You can't solve it. Okay. So if we go on to number 3, which is the same problem. Okay. I guess I have to remember to fix this one. Maybe this was the other one that has lots of duplicates in it. So that's the same problem. I guess I'm not going to do that one again, considering it's x plus 4 and x minus 4. Hope you guys are okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to do 4. So I'm going to rewrite this as 25 x squared plus 0xy minus 9y squared y squared. Okay, so I need 25x squared and negative 9y squared. And then I need two numbers that add to be 0 and multiply to be, I think that's negative 225. 4 quarters is 100. Yeah, negative 225. Okay, so that would be 15 and negative 15. So 15xy and negative 15xy. Notice I want to just point this out one more time that these two numbers are the same. They're just opposite signs. Again, it's a little pattern emerging. They're the same number, just opposite signs. Okay, awesome. So if I factor this, let's see, we've got 5x and negative 3y, and then I've got 5x and 3y. So this factors to 5x minus 3y times 5x plus 3y. Okay, questions? Okay, it's your turn. And there's 4 of them. So, okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as x squared plus 0x minus 1. I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 1 and add to be 0. Well, 1 and negative 1, so it factors to x minus 1 times x plus 1. Remember, when we're factoring, it's got to be have the x's in there. Also, I just saw one person put just 1 and minus 1 in there, but it's x minus 1 and x plus 1 is what it factors to, so I want to make sure that you understand that part, okay? And then the second one, x squared plus 0x plus 16. Two numbers that add to be 0 still and multiply to be 16. Well, there are no numbers, so this one is in A. I think someone, I don't know, I think I saw someone put 8 and 2 in there, which does multiply to be 16. That's great. But 8 plus 2 does not add to be 0. So that means that one would not work. So make sure that it is true for both, that it multiplies to be that number and adds to be the middle number. So it has to be true for both the bottom part and the top part. Okay? So the number C, okay. I've got my box here. I've got 100x squared minus y squared. Whew. And I need two numbers that multiply to be 0, add to be 0 and multiply to be negative 100. So that would be 10 and negative 10. 10xy, negative 10xy. So this should be 10x and negative y and 10x and positive y. So this multiplies to be 10x minus y and 10x plus y. Sorry. Okay. And then the last one is 81x squared and 4y squared, and it needs to add to be 0 again and multiply to be, I don't know, because I didn't figure out what 81 times 4 was. 81 times 4, oh, that is not the right answer. 324. 324, good question. And my go to 324. I have no clue what it is going to be. Divided by, no, that's not it. 324 divided by
18.
8, is it 18? Thank you, you're right, 18. That's the one I haven't got memorized yet. 18 and negative 18. It should be negative 324 because this is negative 4y. Thank you. Negative 18 xy and 18 xy. I don't know why my calculator won't turn to the side and let me do square roots. Sorry. So this should be 9x and 2y and 9x minus 2y. So I've got 9x plus 2y and 9x minus 2y. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the help. Awesome. Is there any questions? Does everyone feel okay doing this? No questions? Okay. So that was a quick lesson. That was